on, guys? Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. I saw a comment as I was waiting to get started. I wanted to just elevator guy. He said, "Can this whole situation just start already? I'm ready for SHTF." So what I think about that kind of situation and where we're headed is these things are always kind of a slow boil. You see lots of warning signs, and this has been every decay in every society. It doesn't usually happen at a moment's notice. So whenever people are like, "Oh, this is clickbait, you're just pandering," no, this is how these things operate. You're getting warning after warning, and so whenever time does hit, and you were the guy saying, "Oh man, you're just clickbaiting," is you're gonna be the guy that didn't get prepared because yeah, you're complaining. So these sort of things, you get lots of warning signs, and we have them. It's like a red light blinking from how bad the situation is and where it's headed to. But before I get to all that, I do want to show this in case you did not see this, just absolute torching of Mike Pence, the Benedict Arnold, whatever you want to call him, the traitor, Mike Pence. But Tucker just torches. You heard it from the man. Where's your concern for America? That's not my concern because he's a warmonger. He probably has tons of money in Halliburton and Lockheed Martin, like I always talk about these guys, right? Of course, he wants to keep sending billions and millions of dollars to Ukraine, because he wants to get rich. Anyway, countless CEOs, investors, and economists had marked that 2023 as the time that America would face a recession. The prevailing notion was that the U.S. economy would come to a standstill due to the Federal Reserve's determined efforts to curb inflation. They're not even trying to. As a result, businesses would be forced to lay off employees, and Americans, as you've seen, tons of people have. Americans concerned about rising prices obviously deters or changes their spending habits. And so indeed, many companies have initiated workforce reductions, particularly the ones in tech and media sectors. We saw, various media platforms, Meta, mass layoffs. We saw Amazon mass layoffs, layoffs from all kinds of big corporations, right? And if you heard Jeff Bezos maybe 6 months ago, he said that if you owned a business, to not buy inventory. Now, I also think that could be a ploy to try to take out small business again. That's been the main ploy. I'm going to get to that in a moment and why that is. But a tally of officially declared job cuts has surged fourfold since the commencement of this year. So people are not only battling inflation, it's causing large corporations to cut workers. Many companies are cutting their forecast, which is their projected earnings. They're saying that people are relying more on food banks, or they may rely more on food banks, savings, and credit cards. So get ready for the soup line. And I think this comes as billionaires. We've seen, billionaires, you always watch the billionaires, and see how things will unfold. Well, Walmart, let's get into this. Billionaires have been just dumping stock. Okay, like $9 billion in total. But Walmart, in this year's market upswing, billionaires and corporate honchos have offloaded approximately $9 billion worth of stock, seizing the opportunity to convert their holdings into cash. According to a report by the CNBC, the prime purveyor of shares was the esteemed Walton family, the inheritors of Walmart and Sam's Club. During the initial half of 2023, the family divested $4.39 billion in Walmart shares, relinquishing their ownership as renowned retail titan experienced a 9% surge in the first 6 months of the year. Scott, thank you, big dog. Appreciate you. So, Walmart, the Waltons, one of the strongest families in America, dumped 4.3 billion in stock. So I'm sure a lot of you guys, I'm not sure if any of you are involved in Airbnb. I'd be curious to know and how you're doing. Airbnb co-founder Joe Gebbia sold off $893 million of his company's stock during the first half. The home sharing site shares are up 59% since the start of the year. Okay, so now you see this article right here from Vox. I hate Vox, but you look everywhere to see what people are talking about. Airbnb collapse won't fix America's housing shortage. So Airbnb is in a downward spiral. Okay, the U.S. housing market in general is scary right now, and Americans seem to be scrambling. That there's really no signs for help on the way. Trying to go buy a house right now. So there was a viral tweet that went around. I'm going to post up. And it said the Airbnb collapse is real. Revenues are down nearly 50% in cities like Phoenix and Austin. Watch out for a wave of forced selling from Airbnb owners later this year in the areas hit hardest by the revenue collapse. The problem with Airbnb, in my opinion, is they're supposed to be a more affordable option for people traveling where there's hotels. Okay. So it turns out a lot of times Airbnb are 2 to 3 times higher than that of the local hotel. And the other thing is that there's tons of rules if you go stay at Airbnb from the owners, right? It's like, it's like all of a sudden you sign up to go work for them. You don't, like, you go stay at a hotel, you get room service, all these sort of things. You go stay at Airbnb, you're now employed. You're not only paying 2 to 3 times more money, but you're employed. You're cleaning up, you're taking out the trash to this particular bin. And if you don't do something right, they're going to charge you. They're going to charge you for this. They're going to charge you for that. So Airbnb pretty much did it to themselves. It just really makes it really inconvenient because of the tons of rules they have. And also, unless you're in a prime area that is a vacation spot or some kind of work hub where they have tons of people coming in and out, you're not going to make much money. There's too much competition amongst Airbnb, and honestly, it's like Uber's the same way. There's like, go to the major city, there's 4,000 people doing Uber. So it's not like you can really, there's just too much competition there. I've known personally people that do Airbnb. I've never really been into that. I believe that investing in real estate, you can rent to someone in a living situation is much better. Airbnb, some people have succeeded in it, depending on where you are. But I've never wanted to get involved with that because I've seen too many people fail at it, right? You have to have somebody booked. And unless like you're in a vacation spot that is, full year round, you're going to have to pull that mortgage in months. It's not getting rented, or you're going to have to lower the rent down so low that you're just barely covering that. So it's just to me, not a worthwhile investment. But the thing is that those people are having to sell those homes off. Okay. And I think there's a big reason for that as well. Alan, thank you, sir. So Oracle Chief Technology Officer Larry Ellison sold Oracle stock. These companies are selling their own stocks. Okay. For the first time in 2 years, shedding $848 million in the first half. The Oracle CEO, Safra Catz, also trimmed her holdings of the company, selling $470 million worth of the company's stock. So yeah, we had these billionaires. I'm going to play this video so you can hear this as well. But you watch the billionaires. Okay, this is your big sign. And I'm going to tell you why this is after we play this video.
A growing cohort of billionaires and CEOs are unloading stock and at an increasing pace after little activity last year. Our Robert Frank's been tracking that action and joins us with some numbers. Important dynamic to watch, Robert.
Yeah, Carl, very important for investors. The first half rally giving shareholders a chance to cash in some of their chips. America's top billionaires selling over $9 billion worth of stock just this year. Topping the list is the Walton family, selling $4.5 billion worth of Walmart shares. They have sold over $25 billion of stock since 2016. That's to stay under their pledged ownership cap as Walmart buys back those shares. Now, most of the biggest sales are in tech. Joe Gebbia, the billionaire co-founder of Airbnb, cashing in nearly $900 million worth of shares. Those are up over 50% this year. Oracle stock is up 35% this year. That's made Larry Ellison $38 billion richer, and he's got a little bit more spending money, selling $848 million worth of stock as part of his options exercises. Oracle CEO Safra Catz also selling $470 million, also with her options exercises. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, the CEO of Palo Alto Networks, and 3 board members of NVIDIA, also big sellers. Moderna CEO Stefan Bancel selling over $300 million of stock in the first half. That's after unloading about $400 million last year. And finally, Josh Harris selling about $210 million worth of Apollo stock. That's going to help pay for the Washington Commanders with that $6.5 billion price tag. You look at insider buying, that is now running about half of last year's level.
Robert, to what degree are taxes a factor here? What do you think that thinking looks like right now?
Well, a lot of the tax-driven selling comes at the end of the year. So I think this is really a valuation question. Remember, in 2021, we had record insider sales of $170 billion. That plummeted to $30 billion last year. So there wasn't a chance to really sell at attractive valuations this year. I think if you look at the first half, it's typically more driven by the stock price, which we've seen a lot of these stocks reaching 52-week highs, finally an exit opportunity. And then I think we could see more tax selling at the end of the year.
I mean, they're staggering numbers, Robert. Thank you.
So they're unloading stock. Okay, we see that. Also, so people are saying there's only like a couple likes, so go stop and hit the like button real quick. Help me fight the algorithm. But anyway, the whole idea for stocks is to buy low, sell high. Okay, so they wouldn't be selling if they thought they would be milking more money out of the stock, right? They don't think it's going to get any higher. The return on billions invested is incredible. So I truly believe this is a huge sign, okay? And this isn't something that's like made up sign. This is something that you can check, okay? I mean, you can check these things. So these billionaires are selling this stock at a rapid pace, $9 billion worth. And we've been living under an extremely high inflation with the Bidenomics, right? People are losing their freaking retirement daily. Your dollars, our dollars, everybody's dollar is worth less. We are funding freaking Ukraine. And meanwhile, the housing market is getting no better, right? And the pandemic did a few things good for billionaires, and it shut down their biggest opposition. Guess what that is? American small business. Okay, whether you may know this or not, and you can search this online, but Amazon and Walmart and all these huge corporations, their biggest opposition is American small business, because there's lots of Americans out there that want to still support Americans that have small business, right? They want to support, online small business, maybe veterans, patriot businesses. They want to support the local mom and pops around their town. So while we had a ton of American small business shut down during the pandemic, we are still, we had those guys, right, that were running the small business have to return to the workforce. We had their employees have to return to the workforce. So for these big corporations, and Biden makes it seem like this is something great, that he helped unemployment. He created it. The other thing is that they moved a ton of people to primarily online shopping. Almost everyone, you see even the big box stores going out of business at a brick and mortar location, because everybody's moving online shopping. This made billionaires rich, right? Again, taking out the biggest opposition, the American small business. Okay. Listen, in my opinion, there are many reasons for this. They want you to sit at home. They want you to stay indoors. They want you to look at a screen. Okay. And that screen now is cultivated by the narrative. If you go against the regime, you're going to get crushed. You're going to get demonetized. You're going to get deplatformed. You're going to get hidden. They do tactics like putting age restrictions on your videos, demonetizing you. And demonetizing you, a lot of guys are clapping. They're like, I don't want these guys to make any money off of ads. Well, anyway, the the big thing about it is that when your video gets demonetized, it's not even about the money, it's about the viewership. The viewership plummets because now the video is not pushed out into the algorithms. Okay. So since you're clapping for your fellow patriot to get his channel shut down, he is not getting his voice out there. And then what you have is a lot of leftists out there getting their voice out there and then changing the minds of people. I don't know how many times as of late I have seen people who say they're conservative and they will spew left-wing propaganda and a lot of times socialist propaganda. I see so many conservatives. You don't even understand the amount of conservatives that are out there spewing socialist propaganda. It's wild. They're against capitalism. They're against all these things that are socialist. They're falling for it, right? So, and the biggest reason is because they shut down you or I if we say something against the regime. So they want you to sit at home and look at the screen, look at CNN, whatever, Fox News, because they're owned by the same freaking people, the Bilderberg Group, and they want you to get used to sitting at home, essentially on house arrest, getting your essentials delivered, right? Don't go out and get sun. Don't get sunlight because it'll make you more depressed. And then less human contact, more consuming propaganda from the screen. You're easier to control. Less financial freedom. What I told you about, they don't want you to be financially free. I can promise you that. Because let me tell you, whenever you have even a little bit of financial freedom, you're less governable. You don't really care that much. You can't really be told a bunch of BS, right? Because you're not going to put up with it. So the USDA is even asking people to register their freaking backyard vegetable garden. Tell me this isn't about control. Then we have the digital currency the government's wanting to push. Well, then they'd have complete control of your spending. They can shut you down. Oh, remember that post you made on Facebook? You're not going to be able to use your account for 72 hours. Oh, no firearms. We're shutting that down. Oh, you can only buy 5 rounds of ammunition. Yeah, you still got your right to bear arms. Your revolver and your couple rounds. That's it though for the year. Right? They can stop how you spend. Okay. Retired. Thank you. And something you say there, especially in $20 bills, keep cash on hand. This is true. And this, I'm going to play a video that's talking about using that as a good example. Also push through. Thank you as well. But digital currency, they're pushing it. They want it. They want it badly because it is complete control of what you can do. And so I'm going to play a video of Andrew Tate and Tucker Carlson actually having a discussion about digital currency. And he says a lot of things that I say as well. Same thing. But I want to hear him talking about it. I think this first part he's talking about masculinity, also something that I talk about how they try to kill your testosterone. And he talks about that as well. And that way you can at least hear it from someone else other than me all the time. So here you go. And also, by the way, they've been deleting this video anytime somebody posts it. So potentially my stream here could get clipped. So just FYI if that happens.
Agree with something. So they did a study, which is pretty self-explanatory. The higher your testosterone level, the more likely you are to disagree with a point. And the reason for that is because, especially in older times, if you're going to disagree with something, you had to fight over it. Yeah. If you're going to say no to somebody or some tribe or some person, there's a high chance that you're going to have to fight that person. You have to defend your idea. If you don't have the propensity or the capability to defend your idea, then why would you go against the ideas of the people who are stronger than you? So reducing testosterone levels make men more compliant and more complacent because we're less likely to say.
Exactly. I've been saying this forever now. And that is what I truly believe is happening, because if you remove the testosterone, that's the thing is that when you understand the biochemistry of a man, testosterone and the androgen effect of your testosterone, these are the things that make you a man, like your voice, your facial hair, your strength, these sort of things, and just how you act, right? Someone who, let's say, abuses steroids, when they put a ton of testosterone in themselves, they become angry, they become, or they have the potential to become more aggressive. Hence why it's banned in like UFC, for example. They don't want you to have a ton of aggression and strength, but they make you weaker. You're more docile, because who are the ones that fight in the revolutions? It's obviously men. So anyway, we'll keep on playing this for you.
No, because we can't defend what we think. Why would we say you're wrong, but we can't do anything about it? We might as well say, well, then you're right. Might makes right.
Right.
So reducing testosterone levels in men is something which I believe they're trying very hard to do. And if you read the studies, they're succeeding. Testosterone levels have gone off the edge, off the cliff. And perhaps that's why they attack smoking so heavily. I understand that smoking a lot of cigarettes can be very bad for you, but I think everything in moderation. And I think that overall, I would rather smoke a few cigars today and maintain my testosterone level, which it's good for, than not. I think
So sorry, what he's talking about here, just so I fill you in, so you're not, you might not understand what he's saying. It's scientifically proven that smoking cigars increase men's testosterone, and he says he smokes a few a day. I smoke cigars as well. I think, I mean, it's one of the vices that I have, but it does increase testosterone, and that's proven. So that's what he's referring to.
benefits outweigh the negatives.
Couldn't agree more. And my final question is about digital currency.
Yep.
Do you think it's inevitable, and what would its effects be?
CBDCs are inevitable, and they're scary. They're super scary because it's the final absolute realm of control. I mean, they're already removing cash from society. I think they say that just because they want to be able to trace things easier, and that's certainly part of it. But I also have another theory on it. I think if you have a $50 bill and I give it to the barber for my haircut, and then he goes and buys groceries with it from the grocer, and the grocer goes and gets his car washed, a $50.
So listen to this. This is the part that I'm talking about. He's saying, take a $50 bill, he pays someone, that person uses the same $50 bill to pay someone else.
Dollar goes from place to place. And after 20 or 30 transactions, the $50 bill belongs to somebody and it's worth $50. Whereas if I pay by card, 1.5% goes to the bank. And then if he takes the money I've given him and pays for the groceries, 1.5% goes to the bank. And after the groceries have been paid for, when he goes to get his car washed, 1.5% goes to the bank. So after 20 or 30 transactions, the $50 is gone. The bank has it all. I think that's why they're so desperate to get rid of cash. It's interesting. CBDCs are the next level, because once the money's completely digital, then they control everything you do with it. They control where it goes, but they can also control how and when it can be spent. Imagine some terrible future dystopian society where your money arrives and they say it can only be spent on food, or it can only be spent on vegetables because you've had too much meat this week, or you can't buy transport to a particular area because there's resistance to government oppression in that area. So that your money won't work for trains right now because nobody can go down there, because we don't want everyone in a large group. We want everyone at home in their pods. And they can track everywhere it goes, and they can also track how it's spent, and they can control how it's spent. They can put a time limit on it. You have an hour to spend this money. Scary. Like, think of all the ways they can inflict control over it. And I think this is actually one of the reasons why also I'm disliked. The BBC said this to me when they interviewed me. They said, Lucy, the very intelligent BBC reporter, said, word for word, you have a Bugatti and a cigar, and that means it comes with a side order of misogyny. I said, how does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with a side order of misogyny?
You can order misogyny on the side?
Looks like it. It's like a sauce. And she repeated it because she couldn't. Yeah, you have a Bugatti and a cigar, and it comes with a side order of misogyny. So I was like, but
They're not sending their best.
Yeah, I don't think they have any best, to be honest. But the point they're making, what she doesn't realize she's making, because she's not smart enough, but what she wanted to say, but she couldn't say in a way which sounded negative, is financial freedom is required to a degree to resist. The reason I'm also disliked is because I'm financially successful. If I was broke, they wouldn't care what I say. But I inspire young men, all of my fans, to become wealthy. And you'd think that'd be fantastic.
So yeah, financial freedom is part of the resistance, and that's what I was talking about before. Using your money to work for you, and they don't want you to be, because if you're having to punch a clock to survive, you're essentially become a slave. And this just goes along with a lot of other things as well. But the thing is that money doesn't necessarily dictate that. So I don't want you to feel that way. Can you be self-reliant? You can have a homestead, not have any money. You can barter amongst your local neighbors. But that's what I'm getting to, is that getting to a point where you don't have to rely on the system if you don't have to. And I think that's, notable for all of us to try to move forward. And you may not be able to in every capacity, but somewhat. And dude, even if that is, you growing potted plants off your balcony where you live at, whatever you can do to become a little more self-reliant every day, and gold, we hear people talking about that. And I've never been a big proponent of gold because you can't eat gold. You know what I mean? It's hard to split up. How do you divvy up? So, but I actually had another idea, and this actually occurred to me a few weeks ago. And I think I spoke about this in one video, but I just want to talk about it once more. But I think gold is somewhat smart to have at a degree. Like, I don't think you should go investing a ton of money in gold, or maybe silver, whatever floats your boat. But in the case you have to flee, okay, and I'm talking about catastrophic situation. And I saw somebody comment a moment ago saying that, do I really believe that there's going to be an all out catastrophic like decline of America? Absolutely, 100% it's going to happen. Every great civilization has fell, and we will do that as well. And just, if you don't believe me, read the Bible. It's in there, and everything that you're seeing happening now is outlined up to this moment. So anyway, they're still talking about this book that some guys with flip-flops on wrote thousands of years ago, and things that they say in that book is coming true. So you can believe it or not, it's up to you. But anyway, the thing is let's say we have a catastrophic event. We have to flee. Like, America's no good no more. Are you just how are you gonna move all your stuff, all your food stores? How are you gonna move your house, your guns, man, whatever? How are you gonna carry all these things? Precious metals are small, they have higher value, and can be carried and pretty much are accepted worldwide. So to a certain degree, I think having some is obviously diversification. Any finance guys can chime in on this in the comments. Diversifying your assets, that's one way. You don't want to have, I have a buddy of mine, the same guy I talked about the other day, made a very bad decision, is suffering. He literally spends all of his money on firearms, which is great. I love firearms too, but he literally he doesn't have anything else, right? Nothing else. No food stores or anything. Like, in his plan is I'm just gonna have a bunch of guns. I'm like, dude, you can't carry hundreds of guns anywhere. You know what I mean? But I would diversify, right? And that's food, water, medical supplies, all those sort of things. Have food stores, have firearms, have ammo, have medical stuff. This is also goes along with the freedom. China actually did a short. I've not posted it yet, but I was talking about Jase Medical because I was talking about it the other day with the antibiotic kits. Okay, think catastrophic event. You're very sick. You need antibiotics. You can't get them, so get them now. Okay, links below. You can grab them. Get antibiotics. It also helps you be more free. I very rarely go to the doctor. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw me I posted me stitching myself up with sutures the other day, right? I'm trained in it, so don't worry. I know what I'm doing. But I don't have to go to a doctor for lots of things, right? I really only have to go when it's something that's well out of my realm, which is very rare. So anyway, I have them on antibiotics. I have all my stuff on hand to do whenever I need to. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you should follow me because you can see me do cool stuff like that. Anyway, firearms, ammo, but don't put all of your money, unless it's like food. I mean, having a lot of food is good, but water purification. I got multiple big Berkeys. I know some people don't like those. I like them because I've been in this game for a very long time. I've been doing this 20 years, and big Berkey was like the first nice one around. And I've got a buddy who's been using his for years on the daily. So I do recommend those. But yeah, food stores. How do they control people? Food, guys. If there's some kind of freaking World War III, I'm telling you, food will dry up quick. And it looks like that's how we're headed now. I hear people talking about it all the time, that they believe that's how the DNC is going to try to keep Biden in there, because he will not. Those 81 million votes, come on. to keep them in there. But actually, I got an email too. I do want to share this. Nutrient Survival has something. I got an email. You may have gotten an email too, but it's something like a grab and go bundle. I just saw this today, but I think it ends tonight, by the way. So I'm sorry for telling you late if you needed food, but you can go in here and pick your various foods and stuff and things. And it's like a payday. They call it payday prep grab and go bundle. You get like 27% off. Maybe you can use my discount code too. Let me post that up there just in case you can. Black Scout 10% off. So I don't know if you can. I didn't talk to them. I just saw them on the email. But I just saw this was cool there, and you can get this grab and go kit. So you can get different things, add things to your bundle and order. If it's still going, just if you need to, just go ahead and try to do it. I think it ends in a few hours. So, but yeah, food never. The thing is, I would diversify food too, obviously, but a lot of people will go buy canned goods, but they only have a certain time limit. These foods last 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is. And you can obviously mix things. So have food in the freezer, right? Have food on the pantry, have your survival foods. I'm a big proponent of having bulk of survival foods because that's something that I know that's going to be there for a long period of time. And the thing is that financial freedom, they want to shut you down for eating with the centrally controlled bank or World War III, or we can't give out food. You got to eat the bugs, right? We're going to give out bug bars to everybody. And you may think this is I'm going Alex Jones on you. This is kind of stuff that could really happen. We can't do any farming right now, but we can harvest these bugs. We're going to put them in a bar. Hippies are eating this junk now. Trust me. You can go get a cricket bar right now, probably in Seattle. Go over there and try it. One of our tribe members sent me a picture from Portland, and there was like a cricket sprinkled on ice cream. I'm not even kidding. So anyway, I don't know if my discount code works. You can try it. But anyway, the thing is that they want you to sit in your cage. They want to feed you bugs and absorb CNN, okay, or Dylan Mulvaney. But in World War III, food would dry up, but I'm more fearful about these billionaires. A couple things that just theories. What if they're selling their stock to get into BRICS because BRICS is becoming so powerful, which they know the American economy is being shattered because of BRICS, because of global trade changing over to BRICS. People are jumping in right and left. And the reason why I brought up the antibiotics, and the short I hadn't posted yet just because I forgot about it. But the most of our antibiotics comes from India and China. And guess who's in BRICS? Both of those guys. They could cut off antibiotics like this. Okay, so, and maybe they're going to buy up a bunch of these Airbnb homes because they're going to be cheap. Because people can't afford them, right? And so you can't buy them. All these things are potentials, So we'll see. But I think that it should be a huge freaking strobe for all of us to what's going on. I mean, obviously, when you go to the gas pump, I was talking to an old guy today. He started talking to me about, raising hell about how much is he had a old pickup, and he said it cost him $100 to fill it up. So this is the thing. It's everywhere. Okay. Also, I do want to mention real quick something very cool. This video I'm putting up is from 7 years ago, by the way. But this guy, Air Force survival instructor, sent me some of their kits, and one of them he sent me was this parachute survival kit. And in this video, in the kit, I'm going to show this part of the video. It had this particular compass. Let me show you this real quick. This is the small military compass. I have one of these from another kit, but this is pretty good. It also has a, I feel like my voice even sounds different. It does it, or is that just me? Lanyard. So, a lot of these button compasses you'll lose, but that has a lanyard so you can hook it to yourself. This is also highly luminescent. I did light it up in the dark and see how it did in there. So anyway, I do think my voice sounds different. But so I actually found a company that made these for us, because they're the ones that's included in the parachute kit, but also they use them in Vietnam. And there's a couple of reasons why I like this is because one, it can be worn around my neck. So if you're building a small survival tent, like an Altoids tent, and you got, the guys with the little button compasses, I mean, we sell them too, but you'll lose that damn thing, right? So this you can put around your neck and wear it. Okay, it's also dry, so it's not going to freeze, right? So a lot of the small button compasses will freeze, right? They will use kerosene in them, so they don't freeze. These are also, I lit it up too, so you can maybe see. It's probably not going to light up in the light, but it's also luminescent, highly luminescent. So anyway, we got these sear compasses made because I thought they'd be good to add into the kit. So we have these in stock now. Something great to add to your kit, redundancy, right? I do like having a button compass, especially with my main, because it's a backup. But yeah, I was excited to get these because this is essentially the military exact to spec. I found the company who made them, and so we got them. So they're on site now. I think they're $12, reasonable, made out of brass, and they look good. Get some for your kids. They'll love wearing them. Also, everybody who buys one this week, as long as we don't run out of these, you'll get one of our survival manuals on how to build a survival kit, included with your compass. So pick them up, support us. We definitely need it with all the demonetization. And guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Make sure if you want to go get the food, go get it, because I think it ends tonight. Hopefully it's not too late. Just so you know, I was not like prepped to do this. It was like something that I just saw an email of. So you're not like, oh man, he's trying to push. I just saw it. And anytime I see something that can help you, I definitely want to. But I want to know your thoughts. If we got any financial gurus watching, please give us some of your knowledge. Because listen, guys, about the comments, and no matter what place in the world you come from or what kind of background you have, every one of you guys bring value and knowledge all the time. I read the comments. I don't get to reply to everybody, but I read the comments, and a lot of you guys say a lot of very intelligent things. So I love seeing what you guys have to say. I appreciate it. And it may be something that I missed during this video. You can put, because other guys are reading the comments too. So any kind of knowledge you have or anything put in the comment section, because other viewers are going to read it as well. And let's help the tribe. Let's help the community, because who else is helping us? We got to stick together. And that goes for my tribe members. If you want to join the tribe, go hit the link below and join the tribe. I love all you guys. Thank you. Hopefully we make it through. We're going to be sitting around the campfire eating a squirrel one day, just laughing about this. But, after the total collapse has happened. Anyway, stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.